We're going to do a quick little video here on the most common mistakes I see when people try to de-winterize their RV. Here we have the winterize kit. So if you have a winterize kit where you can siphon the potable antifreeze through your water system, people forget to turn that valve back to normal use so it'll siphon from the tank. So if your pump's not pumping, check to see if you have that valve. Another thing I see is when people, if they have a city water fill to their fresh water tank, they forget to turn this back. They leave it in tank fill, and what happens is that the pump will take water out of the tank and put it back in the tank, and you won't get any pressure in your lines. So make sure that one is in normal use mode. And then I'm a firm believer that you leave your water heater plug in your water heater after you drain it. So you put it back in. That way the tank doesn't dry out and leave minerals behind in the tank. So those can break free and it'll clog up all your aerators and you get all that stuff inside the tank. So there's some examples of that. Then on your Suburban water heaters, the plug is also an anode rod. The anode rod sacrifices itself to protect the tank because it is a steel tank. And you can see the ones that have a weld spot on the end, they're made of magnesium. And you can also get aluminum ones. In the southwestern United States, I know they recommend an aluminum one, so it'll last a little bit longer. Also, people tend to replace that anode rod too quickly. This is right out of the Suburban manual, and it says you can replace it when it's 75% used up. So I see people replacing them at about 10% used up. So as you can clearly see here in the manual, it says 75%. And a lot of times your plug threads will get boogered up and you won't be able to get your plug started. So they do make taps. This is a 3/4 14. It's a pipe tap. So don't do this unless you're 100% confident in what you're doing. You don't want to screw up those threads and you have to buy a new water heater or tank. So it is possible to clean those out with a thread tap. Then you have your water heater bypass, and everybody forgets to turn these. This is a 3-valve one, and people always forget to turn the middle one. So you always want to turn all 3 or however many valves you have. You always turn all of them when you go to winterize or de-winterize. If you leave the middle one open, you're going to get lukewarm water. So they also make a 2-valve system. So make sure you turn both of those if you have that one. And they make a single valve. So the single valve has a check valve at the hot water connection there. So that's how they use a single valve. So if that's facing up, that's going to be in bypass mode. So those are some real quick tips there on de-winterizing. We'll see you next time.